We're underway with the last. And Kyle Larson taking it up to Gary Higgs down in 1 and 2. Nearly got around the outside. Back in third place, it's Kimball Aylett. Rob Knox has made a good start. Has moved up to fourth place. Kevin Bell fifth as they move out of pits bend the first time. Gary Higgs leads them down the main straight to opening lap. So 19.088. Kyle Larson in second place, and in third place it's Kimball Aylett. Back in fourth place, Kevin Bell. Made a mistake there, did Kevin Bell. Lee Aylett's up to sixth place. He just dropped off a wee bit there, did Kevin Bell, out of turn 2. Had a problem with turn 3 as well. Has lost ground to Kimball Aylett in third. Back in fifth place is Rob Knox, and in sixth place is Lee Aylett. Then Darren Larson, the 85 of Matt McMahon. The last car running is Nathan Bell. Out in front, though, your race leader is car number 1. Gary Higgs. Second place, car number 10 of Kyle Larson. A gap back then to Kimball Aylett in third. Fourth place, car number 5 of Kevin Bell. But it's a race in 2 at the moment with the WA champion out in front. Gary Higgs' last lap was an 18.636. Leads for 1.4 seconds. Second place is Kyle Larson. Oh, Larson's in trouble. Gone, in fact. He's on the infield, and Kevin Bell's gone underneath of Kimball Aylett, and Bell's gone from fourth to second in one foul swoop, but he's a mile behind our race leader. So Bell moves to second, Aylett back to third. Rob Knox is right there in fourth, and Lee Aylett can't find a way through. So the 4 of them locked together for second, third, fourth and fifth. But the West Australian champion is running amok at the moment. He's a mile out in front, is Gary Higgs. Down into turn number 1, the rest of them coming out of turn 4. It's battle for second place, Kevin Bell, then Kimball Aylett in third. Behind them now, looks like Lee Aylett's going to get underneath of Rob Knox, who fights back on the outside. Out of Palmer's corner they come, nearing the halfway mark. Lee Aylett does get underneath, moves into fourth now. Comes underneath it, Kimball Aylett moves into third. Kimball Aylett back to fourth, Rob Knox back to fifth. 12 to go for our race leader. That time around an 18.777. Gary Higgs out by 7 seconds. Second place, the 5 car of Kevin Bell. Lee Aylett in third. Kimball Aylett fourth, Rob Knox in fifth. Back into Darren Larson, Matt McMahon. And the last car running is still Nathan Bell. The race leader, Gary Higgs, has got 11 laps to go. Leads by 7.6 seconds. Lee Aylett now has closed on the 5 of Kevin Bell as Gary Higgs comes to the halfway mark. 10 down and 10 to go. He's half a lap ahead of Kevin Bell and Lee Aylett. Kimball Aylett back in fourth. Behind Kimball Aylett will be the 68 car of Rob Knox. Sixth place is still Darren Larson, then back to Matt McMahon and Nathan Bell. Passing flag coming out as our race leader comes up on lap traffic down in turn number 1. It is a Gary Higgs benefit here. He's a mile in front. Half a lap ahead of car number 5, Kevin Bell. The 4 of Lee Aylett. Back in fourth place, car number 9 of Kimball Aylett. And then the 68 of Rob Knox. Back then to Darren Larson, Matt McMahon. And the 55 car at the tail is that of Nathan Bell, who goes a lap down to Gary Higgs, who passes him on the inside. Kevin Bell still second, Lee Aylett still third. That's where the action is for second and third at the moment. Our race leader comes up on Matt McMahon and Darren Larson. Meanwhile, further back, Kimball Aylett still ahead of the 68 car of Rob Knox. As now car number 1 goes underneath of McMahon and up behind Darren Larson. He hasn't made an outside pass yet as Gary Higgs. Now he does come up on the outside of the 91 of Darren Larson and gets him at the end of the main straight with 6 to go. Kevin Bell still in second place. Lee Aylett right behind him. A gap back to Kimball Aylett and the 68 of Rob Knox. 5 to go this time around for Gary Higgs, who leads by 6.8 seconds. That time around a 19.138. Oh, Lee Aylett has a hip and shoulder with the 5 car of Kevin Bell. It amounts to naught. The yellows are on because the 68 of Rob Knox has spun over on turn number 2, which also stops the 20-lap record, which was sure to be broken by Gary Higgs. But the 68 car is around over on turn number 2, and we have ourselves a stoppage with half a dozen laps left to go. And this might throw a cat amongst the pigeons because the big lead that Gary Higgs had is all gone. Right, here we go. 6 to go. 1, 5, 4 and 9 are your first 4. And Bub's not happy downstairs. 6 to go. Can Gary Higgs hang on? Racing. Down into turn 1 we go. And a race leader doing beautifully. Comes up with 5 to go. Kevin Bell in second place is dispensed with Lee Aylett. Back into the 9 car of Kimber Aylett in 4th. Down the back straight. Gary Higgs out in front from Kevin Bell. Lee Aylett 3rd. Rob Knox hasn't got past the 91 of Darren Larson. Does now. Goes back into 5th. Gary Higgs moves down into turn number 1 and 2 once again. Gary Higgs comes up into Pitts Bend. He'll have 3 laps to go in the feature race here tonight, the last race of 2020. Bell, Aylett, Kimber Aylett 4th. Back into Rob Knox, Darren Larson, Nathan Bell and Matt McMahon. 2 laps to go this time around for the 81 car, which is car number 1 of Gary Higgs. Lee Aylett coming back now at Kevin Bell. 1.5 laps left to go. Lee Aylett applying the pressure to Kevin Bell as they run the Griffin Cole back straight. White flag comes out. We're homeward bound. And Gary Higgs moves down the main straight. Kevin Bell in 2nd, Lee Aylett in 3rd. But it's going to be the 1 car extending his margin to 7 race wins in a row. Gary Higgs wins the feature race. Kevin Bell 2nd, Lee Aylett 3rd. Back in 4th, it's Kimber Aylett. Then Rob Knox is 5th. Then the 91, Darren Larson. 55 of Nathan Bell. And the last car is Matt McMahon. Put your hands together for car number 1, Gary Higgs, ladies and gentlemen, in the lucky last. His 3rd feature win of the season. And his 22nd in the last 10 seasons. Gary Higgs, the WA Super Sedan champion, has won again.